Everybody, it's Adam Jang from the band Yeti Valhalla here to talk to you today about hair loss for men, and which is also applicable to women. So when I was in my late 20s, I was experiencing some hair loss, which is not good, into my early 30s. I'm now in my mid 30s, and I have regained that loss. I was at Norwood 2, which is a very, very scary place to be. It goes 1 to 8, I believe. You can check it out on the Norwood scale on Google to show how much hair you're losing. So now I'm back to between 1 and 2. I don't have a 16-year-old hairline, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. I'm okay. On the top's all good, and the front's all okay, right? Fucking on the back, I'm okay. This is what I did that fixed this, that staved it off, right? Let's start at the very top. I'm going to try to make this as concise as possible. If you do have questions, please get to me through my Instagram at Yeti Valhalla, or Facebook, Adam Jang, or just reply on the comment section below on here. So the very first thing that we should talk about is how shampoo is bad, okay? Straight up, the less shampoo you use, regardless of what kind of shampoo, sulfate-free or whatever the heck it is, or fancy-dancy shampoo that you buy from a dermatologist, the less of it that you use, the better. I recommend shampooing once a week. Twice if you absolutely have to. Primarily after a coconut oil treatment that you do once a month, and we'll get into that in a moment, right? But what shampoo does is it strips your hair of oils, and when your hair doesn't have those, it's exposed, it breaks, bad things happen. Don't use that much shampoo. If you do use a shampoo, I recommend using a premium moist shampoo, something that puts stuff into your hair rather than just takes it all out. And avoid cheap shampoos. Pay for the good stuff. So to follow that up, you got to use conditioner. I always use a thick and full, a volumizing conditioner, because instead of having the volumizer come from the shampoo, which fucks you up, I prefer it to come from the conditioner, which does not fuck you up. Now, you have to scrape your head when you shampoo a little bit. You scratch your head, right? Not that much, but just enough to get rid of that layer of dead shit and build up on it. But after you do that, I like to use some of this. I leave it in for about 5 minutes while I scrub the rest of my body and shave my pubic hair, because that is the thing that takes the absolute most time for me in the shower. And afterwards, you just rinse it out. In the shower, we don't use scalding hot water on our head. Okay, we just don't do that. You try medium. Some people like cold water. Some people say that if you do have hot water in there, it makes the blood rush to your head, which is good for it. But ultimately, it makes your roots weaker for that period of time. So when you're out of the shower and you start detangling your hair, you lose some, which is not good. You want to avoid ripping hair out. Okay, so we use medium water. Is what I found to be okay, tolerable. In the shower for when you're rinsing your hair. I like to condition 3 to 4 times a week, and I shampoo once a week, sometimes twice if you absolutely have to. Now, let's get into the other stuff that you don't already know about, okay? So, coconut oil is the shit, okay? This is like super conditioner. You should do this once a month. What you do is you wet your hair a lot. Sit in the shower, wet it a lot. And you soak it with this shit overnight. Put a ton of coconut oil in your head. Just let that soak in, okay? Overnight. The next day, you rinse that shit out. Make this a Sunday or something, right? Like, do it on Saturday night, wake up Sunday, rinse this shit out. Come out of the shower, don't shampoo yet. Wait an hour or two, go back in the shower, then use this stuff, really wash it out, detangle, and you'll be good. What it does is it kind of works as a fertilizer for your head, okay? The coconut oil will penetrate that layer of the epidermis. It will get into the roots, and that'll be good, okay? It brings in a lot of nutrients and shit into your hair, and it's good to do that once a month. So, now, that's all the easy, natural shit, okay? And other than that, diet. You should be controlling your diet, right? So when I was in my late 20s, I was doing a lot of cocaine, and I was smoking a lot of cigarettes, and I was drunk every day. This contributed to hair loss. Straight up. That's what it will do. Now, not everyone who is a cokehead or an alcoholic or a heavy smoker experiences it, but I have most definitely found that not doing that made a big difference. Power to you if you still want to do it or not. That's a big thing. Eating vitamins, okay? Let's get all my vitamins out here, okay? Before we get into the chemical shit, okay? Natural stuff, okay? Centrum, multivitamin. Biotin, okay? Your body needs 10,000 milligrams of biotin, or it's what I've read, to be able to absorb, and I don't know, 3,000 micrograms of biotin per day. Now, I believe this fluctuates from what I've seen on Google, but I've seen it for 3,000. Biotin helps your skin and your hair and your nails grow really quickly. This is good stuff. I like using this. I take 2 tabs in the morning and I take 3 at night, and I mix that with the Centrum that I take twice daily, and some zinc, okay? For whatever reason, I'm not quite sure why zinc is the thing, but it contributes to the maintenance of normal hair, skin, and nails, is what it says right on here. So, 3 very easy, natural products to be taking that do not cost a lot of money, and that honestly helps a lot. So, now let's get into the chemical shit, okay? So, and one more before the chemical shit. So this is a Derma Punch. Look at this thing. It has hundreds of tiny little needles that are 1.5 millimeters long. And it looks quite painful, and it's not, but, if you're not a pussy, it's not that painful. But as you can clearly see, there's a lot of spikes on there. And what you do is you stab yourself in the head with this hundreds of times, once every 10 days. Okay? And what that does is it creates tiny little holes in your head, and it makes your body go into healing mode up in there. And there are studies on this. It's called a Derma Punch. There's also Derma Rollers, but the Derma Punch goes in one angle, and it does far less damage than rolling it over your head. I highly recommend this. This does make a big difference in conjunction with everything else that's working right there. You can buy these on Amazon for like $10 or less. 1.5 millimeters seems to be the depth that everyone is saying is the right way to go about it. So, Derma Roller, Derma Punch, whatever you want to call it. Excellent fucking piece of equipment there for hair loss and hair loss prevention. This is called finasteride. Now we're into the chemical part of this, okay? So, one second. So, what this does is it stops the androgens DHT from affecting your hair loss, okay? Now, in androgenic alopecia, which is the main cause of hair loss for most people, there's a chemical in testosterone called DHT. And this thing, it's not testosterone itself. If you chop your balls off, yeah, it'll stop your hair loss, but that's not something that I'm willing to do. So I would rather just stop the androgen, which is the thing in testosterone that causes hair loss. You can get these over the counter in Asia. You would have to go to a doctor, a family doctor or a clinic in North America to be able to get these, but they're quite affordable. They don't cost that much at all, and they stop the compound DHT from affecting your head. So I highly recommend using that, and there are many studies of that in conjunction with minoxidil, using both of these at the same time, and the Derma Punch at the same time, will in fact help out a lot. I have seen good results myself on this, and I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, and read a lot of articles on Google about using these two things, 5% minoxidil with finasteride at the same time, and it works quite well. It usually comes in 5 milligram tablets. You only need 1 milligram a day. So you can break that up into 5 pieces. I break it up into 4 and take a little bit more, but whatever. Some people say that there are sexual side effects. I have never seen any sexual side effects on myself, and all of my girlfriends can go and back me up on that. There's it works quite well. Highly recommended. Okay. So what you could do, what I personally do, with what my regime is every 10 days, stab myself in the head. Minoxidil every day except one, which is the day that I use to stab myself in the head. On the minoxidil, because I do not want a bunch of open wounds on my head to absorb this shit. You could do it. Lots of people do, but that's a little bit scary. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And if you do want some of it in your body, there is also oral minoxidil. I do not really recommend this one because this one's a little bit scary. This kind of creates heart palpitations and it feels like you just did a line. It's used mainly as a respiratory thing for people's hearts and people who have heart conditions. So you can use that as an experiment. I didn't really see a big difference when I did it for a month. But maybe you have to go on it for a lot longer, but I thought it was a little bit scary, so I don't really want to do that anymore. And I'm young enough where I can still do all that kind of stuff and it won't really fuck me up that bad. So it's okay. But if you're a little bit older, then I would highly recommend not doing that. If you have a history of heart conditions, you should clearly not do that, right? But otherwise, this twice a day actually. For this once every 10 days, finasteride every day. Just eat a little bit of it. Eat your vitamins twice a day. Make sure you eat lots of vegetables. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you do not use too much fucking shampoo because it's the devil. Coconut oil once a month. And this every 3 to 4. About 3 to 4 days is what I do for it. Not every 3 to 4 days, but I use it every 3 to 4 days. And with all that, in conjunction with all that stuff, right? Use all that fucking stuff. Keep in mind that you should be conscious of having a healthy body and living a healthy life. Because if you do those things like your hair will indeed prosper from that. I have a mosquito that is tramping around this room. So those are the things. Make sure to research all these things yourself. I am not a doctor. I am just a guinea pig for this hair stuff, and I look pretty darn good. So, it could be better. Could be better. We're working on it still. It's still a work in progress. I've been doing this for about, all together, all these things at the same time. I've only been doing that for about a year, right? But I've been slowly experimenting with different things and stuff over the last 5 years, and we're doing okay. Right? On the top, there's nothing missing there. On the front, it's like I don't have a 16-year-old's hairline, but it's okay. It looks all right. So, yeah, that's the thing. Please let me know in the comment section if you want me to go into this any further. And please, by all means, if you want to have a private conversation, you can DM me on my Instagram at Yeti Valhalla. Okay? Rock on. Have a great day.